G'day legends, and welcome back to another episode of That Slot Car Guy news for a Tuesday. We've got the highly anticipated Shadow by MR.SLOT.CA, probably the biggest news to come out this week. We've got some pre-orders from AUTOWORLD for you HO nuts out there. We've got a good bit of kit from NSR to stop those cheaters entering the races. And we've also got a nice little kit from Hobby Classics. So let's get stuck into the news day. The news day for a Tuesday. So let's kick it off with what I think is the biggest news for the slot car world for this week, and it's the Shadow by MrSlot. Now let's take a look at some of these pictures while we talk about it. I think it looks pretty incredible. It is highly anticipated. Now I've been lucky enough to test one of the MrSlot cars. In Australia, it was the Jaguar XJ220. Absolutely loved it. It was my first and only MrSlot that I've had. This, I believe, will be probably already sold out on pre-order, but if I could get my hands on it, I definitely would. Looks incredible. There's pictures here of the chassis, the car itself. The finish looks good. If you haven't had an MrSlot in your collection, please check out the website. If you can get into the older cars, grab them. If not, jump on eBay or Facebook. It's a really, really good company. So here it is, the Shadow, highly anticipated, probably the biggest news for this week, but I can't wait to get my hands on it. So next up, we are visiting Hobby Classics, which I think they are one of the biggest innovators in the hobby at the moment. They sell secondhand items, hard to find, but they also do a lot of R&D in the background. So I do invite you to check out the webpage. But what we do have here is a Revo slot body 132 scale. It is the BMW 2002 Ti with a printed chassis that you can finish off to your spec. Now the one that they're showing here on their webpage and Facebook page, and I'll read the notes, they've finished theirs off with a 45mm axle, 15.5mm rims fitted with some 18mm tyres. No mention on the motor itself, but I do like these kits. It's already painted, it's finished, the decals are there. All you have to do is build it to your spec, which will be really good for club racing. So I do invite you to check out Hobby Classics website. They've got some really cool products in the R&D section. Keep an eye on them. They are big movers and shakers in our hobby. So let's visit NSR, and they've released a new bit of kit. They're really good at releasing some toolbox kits for you to keep at home, but this is more focused on the club. Now it is the offset Martian. I will read what this does. Please visit their webpage, Instagram page. There is a video showing how this works. I've taken some snippet shots from the video, but please go watch the entirety. I will try and link it below. But what this pretty much does is make sure the rear axle, the motor height, and it's not a banana chassis. So what this is trying to do is eliminate any cheater cars out there that are trying to do some old tricks and not come across as the same car. So this will indicate if these cars have too high or too low rear axle, the motor position itself, is it too high or too low, or the chassis itself is bananaed, and there'll be a light that flickers if they are in the wrong. So if anyone's thinking about trying any tricks in an NSR race, any upcoming NSR future races, watch out, because they will be officially using this for their races. So I would say this is most definitely dedicated to a club. Maybe the club can get together and buy one for each club to support the NSR brand, plus any NSR racing that they do that's unofficial. Be really cool to see. So a good bit of kit from NSR, innovators. They're always thinking not just cars, but some really cool kit. So next up, we have some AUTOWORLD pre-orders that I highly recommend you jump on, because their pre-orders do sell out pretty quick. And if you do check the pre-order section, some of the stuff that says is ready for pre-order has already been sold out. So their slot car stuff turns over very quick. So I've gone to the webpage and found some what I think are really cool pre-orders. Let's start with the cars first. We have the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette in yellow. I love the AUTOWORLD series. It's pretty cool. The box art or the blister art I really like. Next up, we have the 1962 Chevrolet Bel Air Coupe in tan. Really nice color. Again, part of the OKU series. And the final one from the OKU series is the 1964 Pontiac GTO in gold. So three really nice cars. There's plenty more on there. They do update it regularly. Like I said, if you're liking some of this stuff, jump on there, pre-order it. They sell out really quick. But we're not just going to stop there. I absolutely love this. This is the colored silicone replacement tires for your HO cars, for your chassis. So let's start with the X-Traction chassis, of course, 24 tires, all different colors, silicone. We've got the 4-gear chassis, 24 tires again. We've got the Super 3, 24 tires, and we've also got the Thunderjet, 24 tires. I love how it's not just cars, there's parts and pieces and replacement tires, and some of the colors are really cool. And I've also jumped over to Pro Tinker Toys website to check out what he has for pre-orders on AUTOWORLD. If you don't know, he sometimes does some special items. It's really, really cool. These are this your standard 14.5 billboard racetrack walls 6-pack for pre-order on his page, so please go show some support. I think that would really finish off your HO truck really well instead of the standard orange or grey borders. Looks really cool, so you can grab a pre-order from Pro Tinker Toys. So that's a wrap on this Tuesday edition of That Slot Car Guy News. The highly anticipated Shadow from MR.SLOT is almost here. NSR releasing a good little cheater piece to knock out those cheaters who want to try and enter an NSR race. Hobby Classics, I highly invite you to visit their webpage. Some vintage gold on there, some really cool R&D stuff coming up. I would love to get some Hobby Classic stuff on here, so watch this space. I'll see if I can get some items on here to show them off, because it's incredible what they are doing. And of course, some pre-orders from AUTOWORLD and from Pro Tinker for your HO goodness. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. If this is the kind of stuff you like to watch on YouTube, please consider subscribing. I am doing this as a full-time gig at the moment. But be safe, take care, support your local. Ciao.